we can do this thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's how we should start it. We should start it with chanting.
You want to do that?
We should go. Articulate.
Oh.
All right.
You're listening to Articulate with your hosts, Kevin Kramer and Sean Gillespie, your go-to guys for art tips, techniques, and general artist ramblings. Presented by drawingandcoloring.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Articulate, the show where we talk about everything art. I'm Kevin Kramer and
Sean Gillespie.
Sean Gillespie with me as always. And today's topic
is religion and art, or art and religion.
How did they meet?
Religious art.
How did they meet?
How did they meet? Where betwixt the two shall meet.
How?
In the art and the religion, where be? I say to you, sir. All right.
I do not know.
I do not know. So Christian art obviously would have had to have started after Christ, right? So your earliest,
Probably.
yeah, probably
Makes sense.
Not gonna have a lot of Christian art before Christ. So that goes back to about 70, the year 70.
The year 70.
The year 70,
Not 1970.
No, the year 70, because as you know, our calendar is based on the birth of Christ.
Yes.
Year 0000000 is when the old boy was born, so to speak.
Three people.
So year 70, had he lived to be 70, would have been,
What?
had he lived to be 70, I think, he was obviously crucified. This guy's not keeping up with things.
This podcast is going.
Anyway, so the first
Sad
Christian
start.
art was in the year 70. But before that, you had a lot of Roman art,
Yes.
right? And a lot of other, art in general. You have a lot of...
Everybody's making sculptures.
Everybody's making art. You got Egyptian art that's religious.
Okay.
A lot of religious art all over the place. But I feel like a lot of people, when they think of religious art, they think about Christian art. So I just wanted to put that out there, that the first Christian art started about the year 70, but you have a lot of other cultures making art before that.
Well,
They're
it
also
usually
religious.
depicts it a lot more directly.
Well, and they really borrow from a lot of art. We're gonna get to that in a second.
Are we?
We are. I got it all lined up here. So let's start with the Romans and Zeus, right?
Zeus.
Yeah, Zeus.
Zeus made art?
Zeus was big in the art scene, man. He was like, people were like, hey, you want me to paint you a lightning bolt god? I'm gonna put you some Zeus up in there, and Poseidon too. He was right there with a little trident, like, because that's what they do. But now let's skip about 1,400 years,
Okay.
or so, to the Renaissance. Right?
Ah, yes.
So all throughout Christian history and
the
and,
only true art.
yeah, no. I like the Renaissance. It's as a painter, I'm fond of it. Plus my main boys, my Ninja Turtles, are in the Renaissance. You got Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Raphael,
And Monet.
and no, you don't.
No.
No, you don't. You don't.
He's not a turtle.
Nope, he's not, or even in that century.
What about Splinter?
But yeah, Splinter, also not an artist.
Shredder?
But so.
April O'Neil.
That's what I say to that. Say horse noise to that.
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant. All right. So all throughout religious history, you have iconoclasm, which is these religions basically tearing down all their icons, because a lot of, particularly in Christian religion, it was believed to be a sin to represent God pictorially, because you weren't allowed to worship images. So throughout the Dark Ages and different periods in Christian history, art was actually outlawed in a lot of respects.
I thought it was like the idols.
It was idols. That was a big thing too, and that goes back to Judaism, where you have Moses throwing down the tablets in fury and all that, and that's because they were worshiping the golden calf, right? And that's true as well. But you also have where historically you have where people, you weren't even allowed to paint any religious symbols, or because it was looked at as worshiping those symbols and studying. But the main reason that kind of got shot down, and this is kind of interesting, is because of illiteracy, right? which is like the only good thing that illiteracy has ever done.
Right.
Ever. Right? So basically all these people were illiterate, the peasants. Dumb. Yeah, the peasants were illiterate, and so the church had to start showing, the Catholic Church predominantly started showing images to help them along, and they were able to see who the people were because, like, for example, St. Patrick carried a 4-leaf clover, and St. Peter, I think, carried a lamb. All these guys had these certain things that they were associated with, so people could tell. Oh, I can tell by the iconography that's so and so, and that's this person, and all that.
Interesting.
Right. So the old illiterates bring about this.
You were too dumb.
Yeah, you are too dumb.
We'll show you.
We got to give you art, which is awesome, right? Thanks, illiterate people of the world.
Good job.
You rock. Way to go. So then that starts. So they start doing that, and then you get the Renaissance. Now, I think about this a lot, and tell me if you've had this thought too. So Michelangelo, yeah. So Michelangelo was not religious, right? He was,
he kind of had
religious in the time. Everybody was religious at the time. Yeah, it was, if you weren't, it was a... But, had he had his druthers, he probably would have been sculpting first off, and he would have been sculpting tombs rather than, for the Pope, rather than... actually, for Pope Julius, but rather than working on the Sistine Chapel. He didn't want to work on the Sistine Chapel. He wanted to work on the tomb.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, wasn't he actually forced to paint that?
He was, yeah. Pope Julius forced him to paint that because he wanted it done.
I don't think there was any other reason other than that. That I remember.
Yeah, just because he wanted it done. He's like, man, I need this done, and then it's going to look good. And that was one of the ways that the church really showed how wealthy they were and things like by hiring these artists to do this beautiful thing, and also and it's how they told stories, and that's what the Sistine Chapel is all about. It tells these stories to the illiterate masses and things like that.
I think you mean the 16th chapel, right?
No, I mean the Sistine Chapel. It's Sistine.
Okay, just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody but you gets that confused.
No, a lot of people go 16.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Who?
Just leave it.
Let's name names. I want to create a blacklist of these people right now. No, it's the Sistine Chapel.
Yes, it's not a number, people.
Yeah, it's not a number.
Because I've heard that, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, it's understandable. It's also not Circus Olay. Like, I used to think,
Circus Olay!
Circus Olay!
Yeah.
It's not. But that's under, you hear it and you're like, oh, yeah, Circus Olay!
Right?
Yeah, no.
That's not right.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you hear, and it is easy to get to mistake things.
Right.
So I'm not trying to make anybody out there feel stupid, but it is the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one. That's a big one. That and Circus Olay!
Yes.
Which could happen to anybody.
It could.
Anybody. Not saying it happened to me. All right. So, Michelangelo gets around, and he's got to paint the big guy. The big guy upstairs, right? Yeah, with the thing. The
the E.T.
Right, the E.T. thing. Right. So he's got to do that. So what does he do? Where does he go to find his inspiration for what God should look like? Do you have any guess? I'll give you a hint. I mentioned this fella a little earlier in this podcast.
Poseidon?
Good guess.
Zeus.
Brother Zeus. Old Zeusy boy. Zeus was the inspiration for how most people in, Christian day now picture God. Because, that pretty much became the symbol of God. That's like, whoa, that's probably what that dude looks like, bro. Because it's such a powerful and beautiful symbol. Right, so interesting.
Wisdom.
So not only do you have, and angels came, the image that we hold of angels,
all came from that?
Well, no, that actually came from Mesopotamia.
Oh.
Which is even older.
That's
right, way ancient. Back. But my point, though, is that these images, these religious icons get reproduced in different religions.
Right.
And so you see a lot of themes, even of different religions, in religious art, which is super fascinating.
Yeah.
Right?
It's all the same people.
Right. And all the same people just recreated and rehashed and redone, which is interesting.
It's like if I gave you a piece of paper and an idea in another country, and then I gave you the same stuff in this other country, it would be the same thing, But you would draw it a little differently.
Right. But there, it's just a little different.
Right.
Like, they don't call it a royale.
Right.
It's like basically that
Exactly.
conversation. It's the Pulp Fiction talk.
Yeah.
Right. So anyways, that's cool. But one of my thoughts, and I think about this a lot, and it's a bummer of a thought, and so be prepared to be a little depressed. But these days, as a muralist, I'm always trying to get a mural gig. But churches they don't really have the budget these days to hire you to do giant ceilings.
Right.
In a lot of cases.
Right.
Some might, but they don't call the Shano. But they might be calling other people who are,
Right.
more talented or something.
Fresco.
Right. But anyway, but who is calling a lot are like fast food restaurants and things like that, which is crazy, like corporations.
Yeah.
So I feel like religious art has shifted into corporate art, and maybe corporations are the new religion, which freaks me out. That thought terrifies me, and I hate it, and I hope it's not true. But mind blown, people. There's your thesis. Told you I was going to start saying that.
Boom.
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 Scary thought bomb. Yeah. Because the art,
back.
yeah, right? Because the artists in the Renaissance, they weren't doing those paintings necessarily because they felt
Right.
truly religious. Obviously, some of them did.
Well, you could also...
They were doing it because they were getting paid to, and they loved it.
You could also argue that the amount of influence that the church had is the same as the corporations have now.
Right. Yeah, totally. We're drawing parallels all over the place. It's scaring me. I'm scared right now. I'm going to stay up all night tonight. I'm really frightened.
So who are you going to work for?
So that's a whole, that's a whole nother podcast there
It
and a
is.
whole nother book. But
It
that's an
is.
interesting thought,
Yeah.
when you're talking about religious art.
It's true.
But one more thing, and then I figure we'll kind of wrap this up.
All
'Cause
right.
I'm kind of rambling. I get excited.
He
I get
does.
excited about my religious art. So,
Go spilling the tea again.
spilling the tea. When I get excited, I just spill it everywhere. I'm gonna put it down.
All right.
So a few things too that that religious art gave birth to. I mean, you could sit here and list. You could probably sit here all day and list
Wow.
the things.
I mean, it's just the germ of everything.
Yeah, but the Trump lol effect,
Yeah.
where it like looks like things are disappearing and false walls,
Right.
that a lot of has its roots in religious art a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
The chiaroscura or whatever, which is with the dark shadows to make things look more dramatic, and
Right.
really focuses on the difference with Caravaggio and
Right,
Renoir, and really focuses on the difference of dark and light. Not that those were necessarily religious painters, but
Right.
that their work, that iconography is reused
Yeah.
in religious art heavily.
Those techniques.
Mannerism started with religious art. You have Parmigiano. I think I pronounced that right. I looked it up because he's one of my favorite painters. Parmigiano.
Okay.
Let me double check on
Go
that
with
because I don't want to say his name. Yeah, so I wrote it out phonetically. Yeah, Parmigiano, which actually stands for the little one from Parma.
Theano. Yeah.
Yeah, Parmigiano.
Yeah.
It's the Italian, so it's Parmigiano.
Okay.
But anyway,
It sounds like Parmesan.
it is. It looks like Parmesan, except it's got a little I-N-O at the end.
okay.
Parmigiano.
The small cheese.
Yeah, so he was a mannerist, and he's most famous for his painting. Parmesan comes from Parma as well, I believe.
What does mannerism mean?
Mannerism. All right. So mannerism is like where all the limbs and things are like extended, like the Madonna with the long neck, famous painting, like where her neck is very long and like almost goose-like and elegant.
Is that like the one where it's like screaming too? Because he's kind of stretched.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that could be considered a mannerist, but usually mannerism is a little bit more realistic. Like I mentioned. Excuse me. I mentioned Thomas Hart Benton a lot.
Right.
Well, he's a mannerist as well. Like his figures, which I don't know if he was
Oh,
purposely
yeah,
where
okay.
they're all like contorted and they're just
okay. Yeah, I got
that's mannerism. But that all started with Parmigiano.
Nice.
Parmigiano. It's hard to say.
Yes.
Why is it so hard to say? Anyway, so all of these things began with religious art, which
Yeah.
is awesome.
I'd say most of it did.
Well, almost all of it.
Oh, yeah,
Almost
pretty
all
much.
of it. We
Even
say.
all the way back to the caves.
All the way back to the well actually they were a lot of times just painting the hunt, so it wasn't necessarily
True.
like a religious. They were like,
But
telling
they
the
killed-
stories, and they were like, and here is where you shall kill the buffalo, and they're like, yes,
Right, but even that could have been like Avatar, where they killed
Right, that could have been a part of,
ceremoniously.
Yeah, that's true. They did probably, like, they believe that the animal spirits and things like that. Yeah, that's a good point. Touche, Kevin. Touche. Lawyered.
All right. I think we can wrap it up right here.
What are your thoughts on religious art?
Yeah, what do...
Tell us.
I don't know. What else? I don't know, what kind of question. What,
you have any questions about it? Tell us. We'll look it up.
Yeah, what's your favorite religious art?
Artist.
Art? Technique? Style?
Good or bad? Was religious art good, or was religious art bad? Should art just stand on its own, or should it be affiliated?
Should it be tied with the fabric of our lives?
Who can know? Tell us your thoughts.
That's right. Leave them in the comments below. And again, if you haven't subscribed already, hit us up on YouTube, on articulatepodcast.com, or subscribe on iTunes. And keep up with us every week at 3 o'clock. Wednesday.
3 o'clock Wednesday? That's when it goes out?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
See? Yeah. All right. We'll see you next week.
You've been listening to Articulate with Kevin and Sean. Subscribe on iTunes or check them out on drawingandcoloring.com. Always reminding you to keep it simple.